Hello and welcome to Token Topics. Stellar was a hot topic at Davos and grabbed the attention of the World Economic Forum. Also, the Global Market Advisory Committee has rejoined and joins Stellar blockchain to large financial players like JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and BlackRock. Also, we're going to look into Stellar's collaboration with Axelar and more. Before I begin, remember I'm not a financial advisor. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive in. Subscribe now for a chance to win a free DCENT hardware wallet. For new subscribers only, all you have to do is simply subscribe and fill out the form in the description. The details of the giveaway is written on the form. Stellar is rocking it at Davos, and the world is paying attention. In fact, a huge transaction took place in the midst of the Davos event. Nearly 1.3 billion XLM, equivalent to $108 million, was transferred from Bittrex to an unknown wallet. Interestingly, a major transaction involving XLM happened in the midst of the International Economic Forum taking place in Davos currently. And as you can see, that's Danielle Dixon as pictured at Davos, and SDF posted another year, another game-changing Davos in the books. Discussions on building real-world blockchain solutions have set a tone for a more hopeful future. And here's proof. That's Danielle Dixon at the Zurich airport. And this is huge news for the SDF. This is huge news for Stellar development. The SDF is joining the U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission. That's big. And they are the only blockchain currently representing them. They state that they are excited to lend a crypto-native perspective as the committee advises on the challenges and opportunities of a global marketplace. This is exciting news that with the recent relaunch of Global Market Advisory Committee, the Commodities Future Trading Commission, or CFTC, is bringing its leadership and expertise to the discussion of the appropriate regulation of digital asset markets. Now, I want to add that that's very important because right now it's just been the SEC and they have not been doing a good job in bringing in regulations and rules of the road. Continuing that the inclusion of digital asset markets in the GMAC's priorities demonstrates the importance of blockchain and crypto to the future of the United States markets. The Stellar Development Foundation will be one of 4 crypto-focused organizations, but the only one representing a blockchain. That's big right there. To join representatives from traditional finance players such as JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and BlackRock. Right there, Stellar. Commissioner Pam at the helm, the GMAC will guide the Commission on issues that affect the integrity and competitiveness of U.S. markets and U.S. firms engaged in global business. With the recent launch of Stellar Aid Assist, it's brought the attention of not only the whole world, but a lot of different agencies and new actors into the humanitarian field. So what innovative work are new actors in the humanitarian field doing to benefit communities? Danielle Dixon joined Jose Andres, Michael Fay, and others to discuss at the World Economic Forum. Kelly Clements, who's Deputy High Commissioner at the UNHCR, she posted that blockchain and digital payments can open doors for quick, secure, and transparent aid delivery. Together with the tech sector, the UN Refugee Agency is exploring new ways of delivering help to those in need when crises break out. Just last month, to recap, they partnered with Stellar Development Foundation to pilot a first-of-its-kind blockchain payment solution for those displaced by the war in Ukraine. And here, pictured, you can see people from the Stellar team at Davos. Beautiful scenery. Stellar is working hard on interoperability, and that's a key for this whole new financial system to work. So Stellar is all about interoperability between financial systems. The work at Stellar Development Foundation strives to support solutions building system-to-system interplay while also making those solutions as accessible as possible. Although decentralized finance ecosystems are fertile ground for financial innovation, there is still a gap between the conceptual and capable, and the urgency of bringing the future of Web3 and DeFi closer to the financial rails of the present. They launched what was called Stellar Bridge Bounty Program. Now, one of the contenders of the Stellar Bridge Bounty Program was Axelar. Axelar delivers a secure cross-chain communication for Web3. Now we're going to hear from Tom Emmer and Axelar on the future of their relationship and what this partnership brings. If you'd like to learn more about Axelar, it delivers secure cross-chain communication for Web3. The infrastructure enables decentralized applications and users to interact with any asset or application on any chain with one click.
One of the directors of business development on the team at Axelar, and doing a lot of the work to put on the Interop Summit, which hopefully some of our audience members are familiar with. Some will be new to the concept, but Axelar will be putting on the Interop Summit during Biddle Week at ETH Denver on February 27th and 28th. And our goal is to be bringing together the best ecosystems to present and talk in front of developers about the infrastructure and the solutions that we need to be building so that we can build next-gen chain-agnostic applications that span the entirety of Web3. And so one of those core partners to us is Stellar, who will be working with in a broader strategic partnership to provide them with cross-chain messaging. So we have Tomer Weller here, who's the VP of Tech Strategy at Stellar. I'll give him a second to introduce himself, and we can kind of dive into how we're working together and what we're going to be doing at Interop.
Awesome. Thanks, James. So hey, I'm Tomer, and like James said, VP Tech Strategy. I've been at Stellar the foundation since 2017, worked on a variety of roles. These days, my main focus is to bring to market Soroban, which is our smart contracts platform, and I'm sure we're going to talk about that. Yeah, that's it. In case you're not familiar, Stellar is an L1 blockchain, been around since 2015, or 2014 actually, designed from the ground up for asset issuance and cross-border payments. We're connected to a global network of on and off ramps, including hundreds of thousands of cash agents around the world through MoneyGram. We recently announced Aid Assist, which is a product that utilizes the network for dispersing funds to refugees. So there's a lot going on. Happy to talk about any of that.
I think the best place to start, honestly, is to give people a better understanding of how Stellar is approaching cross-chain and a multi-chain future and looking at it. I think the best place to start is to introduce people to the Bridge Bounty program, which Axelar was one of the 5 winners of Stellar's Bridge Bounty program, which is the kind of genesis of our strategic partnership, which will kind of lead into what we plan to do at Interop and the value that developers will get out of attending those sessions.
Sure, happy to talk about that. So, like I said, Stellar has been around for a while, and it was built from the ground up to bridge financial institutions. And the original intent was to bridge, the traditional fiat systems. And you got to remember that this was designed in 2014, so it's before Ethereum even launched. The world has changed since then. You have, crypto is here to stay, and we're definitely not chain maximalists, and we think that there is definitely a multi-chain future, and we want to make sure that Stellar has proper interoperability to facilitate this new type of financial systems. So last year, as part of that, we placed a bounty on bridging. And the idea was to encourage the building of cross-chain interoperability solutions to and from Stellar by putting a reward on it. It was wildly successful, and we got a lot of interest from participating companies across the ecosystem, including like the biggest names in cross-chain interop and bridging. And eventually we selected 5 partners, and Axelar is obviously included there.
Question I wanted to ask you is, when you look at the 5 winners, what was part of like the strategic selection process? Do you consider the 5 of them to be competing for ultimately, one path that the community will decide, or do you see them as complementary?
I think mostly complementary, and the idea was to get a nice coverage of the cross-chain interoperability space because it's much bigger than just asset transfer, right? So just to iterate over the 5, we have obviously Axelar, which is the only bridge on this list that's a generalized cross-chain smart contract message passing platform. We have Allbridge and Multichain, which are more of the classic asset transfer bridges. We have this cross-chain solution that's called Kaladin that allows you to trade assets between Bitcoin and Ethereum and Stellar and a few other networks. They're doing something really cool, which is using state channels. So you can think of it as the same technology that is driving the Bitcoin Lightning Network. Super cool stuff. We also have another company called Cubist. Cubists are very different. They're actually building a tool chain for programmers that allows developers to write smart contracts that run and interoperate across multiple chains. So you write a smart contract once and you can deploy the same thing across multiple chains and have it connect to one another. And funny enough, Cubists are actually using Axelar as message passing for their solution. So I think it's a great example of how these bridges actually complement each other rather than competing. Last year, we made this decision to pursue smart contracts. And so we're building a new smart contracts platform. It's called Soroban. Soroban, whoever's not aware, is named after the Japanese abacus. And it really builds on tried and true technologies, which are WebAssembly and Rust. And we looked out there and we saw that there are these great technologies, WebAssembly and Rust. We didn't really feel like any of the existing smart contracts platforms had the scaling characteristics and the developer friendliness that we were looking for. So we decided to build Soroban, and I encourage everyone to try it out. We're actually releasing the sixth preview of it in an hour to testnet. Come check it out. There are multiple incentives programs that are about to launch, and we're very excited about it.
People access more information about that? Are you guys announcing it on Twitter? Where can people find that documentation?
Sure. So soroban.stellar.org is where the docs are. The Discord, our developer Discord, which you can find on stellar.org, is where most communication is happening. And the cool thing about building this platform is that people can participate, and we're actually still shaping this thing and getting feedback from people. So developers can jump in and actually go on the Soroban dev channel on Discord and actually affect the output.
Awesome. And if I may push you to really simplify in layman's terms, what's the value that it's bringing to developers and why they should be building on it as opposed to a number of smart contract platforms being developed by respected ecosystems? How are you guys articulating the unique value prop there?
I think that definitely the network effects of our anchor network, which is this global interop network of on and off ramps, is the biggest thing, because basically you can build a DeFi app that is closest to the rails as possible. That means that a user, if you're building a liquidity pool on Soroban, it means that a user will be able to deposit cash at a MoneyGram agent directly to a Stellar Soroban liquidity pool. And that's a really awesome thing to do. And we're talking about Stellar. We're talking about a network that has been around for quite some time, and that has an amazing track record, super robust and super connected.
A lot of people are talking about how Casper allows for easy development on their smart contracts for developers to easily develop, but nobody's talking about Soroban with Stellar and how easy it is for developers to develop smart contracts on that as well. Well, everyone, that's all I have for the video. Go ahead and put your thoughts or your comments down below, and as always, thank you for watching another edition of Token Topics.